Hey everybody, Psycho here again. Now today we're going to be changing out the fuel pump and sending unit in this 2011 Can-Am Outlander. Stay tuned. Alright, so getting into what we're going to be doing today. The fuel pump, the sending unit, I'm having some issues with it. I believe there's a hole in the line because normally there's a certain sound that this makes when the fuel pump kicks on, and now it sounds like it's sloshing fuel. And I'll give you an example. You might be able to hear it. So you can hear how that's sloshing around. So I believe there's a hole in the line. Now I had it out and I looked it over. There was a lot of rust on it where I've had some old gas in the bike. A lot of the wires, the coating on them were they were cracking, and the gauge itself for the fuel doesn't work anymore. And when I had it out, I cleaned it up to try to make stuff work, and basically there's just too many problems with it. It made more sense just to go ahead and get a new one. So this is our new pump. You do get a new cap and gasket, and then there's the unit itself. New fuel pump, float, all your wiring, stuff like that. So let's get the old one out and we'll compare the two. So to get access to the fuel pump, we need to take off all our seats. And what we're looking for is right here. Now this is a bit tedious. However, once you get used to doing it, it's not too bad. But like I say, it can be annoying to do this. So first thing we're going to do, I'm going to pull off the vent hose. Then we're going to disconnect the 4 wires. And then I'm going to take off the hose that goes to the engine. Hopefully everybody can see that. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit here for you. So we'll get the hosed off first. All I'm going to do is just kind of wiggle that off. Shouldn't take too much. We got that off. I'm just going to put it over here out of the way. Next, I'm going to disconnect the little 4 wire. It's just a little clip. Just pop that out like so. Now, these come with like the snap clamps. I've already discarded that. I put on a normal clamp with a flat head. So I'm just going to loosen that up. And then we got that off. Now, next step is to spin that little cap off. And I just like taking a flat head, square head. You can use an extension like this. And we're just going to tap it around. And eventually, it should loose off enough that you can turn it by hand. And there we are. Next, what I want to do is I want to get this out of the way a little bit. There. Just like that. Now, as far as I remember, the filter and the fuel pump face this way. So I kind of want to bring it up and then turn it counterclockwise, if I remember correctly. Because this is very annoying to get out. I wish there was more space here, but you get what you get. Okay. Maybe it's counterclockwise or clockwise. And you just kind of Just gonna wiggle it this way. There we go. Okay, so it's the opposite. And I'm just gonna pull the float down, and there we go. There's our unit. Alright, so I'll give you a comparison look here between the two. For the most part, they're pretty similar. I did notice like a couple little differences, but I don't think it's going to make that big of a deal. You can tell there's the old one. Now, I cleaned this up a couple weeks ago, maybe even, well, probably a month ago now. And you can see like how there's rust here. This was really bad. There was a lot of rust in the tank. I've cleaned everything out, put new fuel in it. But this unit's pretty well toast. This here doesn't work for your gauge. You can see we got wires right in there that are showing they're bare. So that's not good. The obvious thing where it's leaking somewhere must be in here. All this over here looks pretty good. So there's enough wrong with it that it made more sense to buy a whole new unit. And for the most part, this looks pretty good. I was looking at this. This kind of looks a little dodgy, but I mean, if it bothered me that much, I could always switch it out. It's just a little copper thing. So yeah, everything else looks good. These ends look a little bit different, but that shouldn't make too much of a difference. So yeah, let's put the new one in and see if she starts up. So I've been fighting with this now for, 10-15 minutes for sure. And I just didn't understand why it wouldn't go into place. And I found the problem. See how much angle the cover is here? There's the factory. Quite a bit of difference. So this is going in place, but it's getting like a little lip up. And I can't get it over because this is at the bottom of the tank now. So the only thing I can do to make this work is to swap the tops over. Take this out, unhook this, and put that on this one. That's the only thing I can figure to make it work. It's kind of shitty that there'd be that much difference. But there is, and because of that, it won't go on. So I managed to get the tops off. Not too bad of a challenge. However, I couldn't get this. This is the new one, mind you. And it wouldn't come off all that easy. They do have the little snap clamps, which is, you know how I feel about those. But in order to get this cheap plastic to slide off, I ended up having to pretty much break it. And this is just dirt cheap. Like, oh my god, that's garbage. Why any company would put that on, like something that's supposed to move and whatever, is beyond me. So this is junk, this is garbage. I gotta swap it out. Luckily the old one is a little better quality, but I gotta look this over to make sure that that's actually gonna work. I might just say to heck with it, cut these off and put a rubber fuel line there instead. And I think that would make more sense, because this is ridiculous. And like, you can look here, I got those lined up. You can see there's quite a bit of difference there, how it angles. And that's all our problem was. If that was angled the same as this, it would have went in, it would have been done. We would already been riding. But of course, they can't make things easy. You got to always do customization work to all this crap. So I managed to get this end off, and of course the nipple end is plastic as well, so you got to be very careful. I ended up having to cut it with a utility knife, and it did work. I managed to get all the pieces off, but then trying to get this piece off of the old one, and I tried and tried, it wouldn't come, and then eventually it just said hell with it and broke. So both of them are garbage now. The only thing I can think of do is just put some rubber hose on. I don't have any here. I don't even have any like fuel line to try it. So I'm gonna have to wait, go to the store tomorrow and pick up some hose like this style. And hopefully we can fabricate something to replace this cheap, crappy plastic. So see y'all tomorrow. Alright, so this is what I've come up with. I basically, there was no such thing as material like this, like hoses and stuff. It made sense. I was thinking about trying to use some like this vinyl tubing. I bought it in a 1/4 inch. It wasn't big enough, and it just pinches off too much anyways. So I decided to go with like this rubber hose. So I picked up a 1/4 inch and 5/8. 5/8 is what is needed. And I also got like the style clamp instead of the one shot, you know, like that. And I think it went together pretty good. It does, I mean, it's on there. I wish it was on here a little bit better. Stop rolling. Right here, you can see it could go a little farther, but I mean, it starts way back here, so it should be sealed. It should be good. And I put the new spring on it there, and I'm hoping that this will go in and everything works. Alright, so I got the bike back together. Sorry I didn't film anymore, but this, oh my god, it was so stressful. I ended up shaking my bike and the light fell, and somehow it got thrown outdoors and it's all in pieces, even though you probably can't see it. So I got no shop light now. For some reason, I just couldn't get that to go on. I had this backwards, so I had to, then it wouldn't line up with the fuel line. So then I had to take this next piece off right here, this piece, and I had to spin that around. And of course I couldn't get this clamp to go back on, and then I threw this, and this, see this nipple here, that got broken. So oh my god, it was such a stressful thing. I probably lost 5 years filming this video. And then getting it, put it back in, I couldn't get it to go on. And because where I had that other line on there, it wouldn't squish enough. And I beat and pound, and I screamed at it and cursed at it, and that was ineffective. So I kind of just left it, and I sat down in my chair here. There's the bag beetle chair that nobody likes. And I just kind of came up to it, and I just kind of started screwing it normally, and it went right on. I have no idea why it did that, but oh my god, what a shit show. But anyways, if we can get this girl to fire up for us. It sounds normal. I've already had it going. I know it works good. And you can see it's reading some fuel. And it seems to be running just fine. It sounds spot on as far as the way it's idling and revving. I won't know until I start hauling wood with it, but I think she's good to go. Oh, anyways, that does it for this video. It was stressful, guys. I'm sorry I didn't film the last bit of it, but trust me, you did not want to see that horror show. I'm sure if the ring girl came and seen me there, she would have just turned around and said, fuck this. So anyways, I hope everybody liked it. Comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for viewing.